Most people who aspire to be polymaths are hoarding dead facts to feel smart. If you don't know what a polymath is, it's a master of all trades. A polymath is an individual whose knowledge spans many different subjects, distinguished by their ability to draw on complex bodies of knowledge to solve specific problems. Unlike a specialist who focuses on one field, a polymath achieves and is recognized proficiently in 2 to 3 even more distinct areas. For example, imagine a doctor who is also a chemist and is also a psychologist, even a studying law student. That's an example of a polymath. However, if your knowledge doesn't have practical consequences, if you can't immediately use it to build something, manipulate a situation, or survive it, it is a fundamentally false concept of polymath. Some just want to be the smartest person in the room. You read the book, you highlight the quotes, you feel the rush of superiority every time you consume a new concept. It feels like you're learning more and more, but at the end of the day, did you actually change a single behavior? You can read about negotiations, but can you haggle a price? You can study psychology, but can you de-escalate a fight? If you're just chewing information without swallowing it, you're spitting out empty calories of data. If you have knowledge but absolutely zero capacity to act on it, you aren't a polymath, you're just a textbook with knowledge. This happens because we don't understand the difference between schooling and education anymore. Schooling is just a habit formation for learning. It's a system designed to teach you how to get grades. It takes human knowledge, which is historically was always a matter of life and death, and makes it abstract, artificial, and dead. Let's talk about chemistry. In modern schooling, if you memorize the combination of potassium permanganate and glycerin to create exothermic oxidation reduction equation, you get an A. You pat yourself on the back, you get your little gold star, and you're officially smart. Now imagine the grid goes down. We're in World War III scenario. It's 20 degrees below zero. You're alone in the world, freezing to death, and your survival depends entirely on what you can do. A straight A student remembers the word exothermic, but they freeze to death. The pragmatist, the true polymath, knows that if you pour glycerin over that purple powder, it creates a violent chemical fire in 5 seconds, flat, without spark, which you can use to warm yourself. A person who had dead facts died, and the person who weaponized the fact lived. The philosopher named William Ernest Hawking called this modern mindset the cult of flabby mediocrity. We want the privilege of consuming information without responsibility. We want to look smart without doing the work, and because of that, we've completely became dependent. We expect a school system to test us because we are terrified of reality testing. And this is exactly why the modern productivity bro on your timeline makes me sick. You know the type, the guy flexing that he reads 100 books this year, quoting Marcus Aurelius on Twitter while his actual life is complete mess. That is not polymathy, that is flabby mediocrity. Polymathy begins when you become a pragmatist. True pragmatism is ruthless. The rule is brutally simple. That which does not work is not true. Read that again. If a theory or fact doesn't give you leverage in the world, if it doesn't improve your capacity to hold the stress of existence, it is fundamentally false, period. We have been domesticated. School didn't educate you, it domesticated you into thinking that learning is the end goal, but it's not. True education is the continuous development of your capacity to survive, adapt, and build new habits. You shouldn't just be learning, you should be experimenting, taking action, and building the things you actually need in the real world. So how do you actually become a polymath in a world obsessed with trivia, obsessed with getting marked? You have to stop learning and start weaponizing action. Here is how you actually read the book like a pragmatist. Every single time you read a fact, refuse to let it become abstract. You must immediately translate it into an action you can take. For example, you read a book about linguistics and you learn a simple fact. Words are arbitrary. Humans assign meaning to them. A normal person highlights the fact, feels smart, and moves on. A polymath translates it into an actionable knowledge. They say, if words are arbitrary, then I can never assume the person I'm talking to shares my vocabulary. From now on, every meeting or argument, I will always define exactly what I mean first. I will share my lexicons and control the semantics. Because in truth, your definition of success and their definition of success is not the same. They might think getting rich, having a hot girlfriend is enough, while you might think reaching space and curing all diseases in the world is success. So you have to communicate your meaning of the word. You just took a dead fact and turned it into a pragmatic knowledge. That's true polymath. If you can't attach a piece of knowledge to physical action, a project, or a real problem within 24 hours, the knowledge is as dead as abstraction can. So my recommendation is stop hoarding dead knowledge. If you want to master everything, and the path to polymathy is connecting everything you learn directly to an action. Try this for a week, and the next time you try to learn a new fact, force yourself to build a pragmatic rule out of it. If you can't do it, delete it from your brain. Be honest with yourself. Are you actually becoming Mr. Joe over here who works a 9 to 5, or becoming a polymath that wants to master everything?